On this all-new episode of Nightlife, we sit down with head coach Bruce Cassidy to check the pulse of the team headed into the playoffs.
This time of the year is fine-tuning your game and what's at stake next. And for us, it's first place in the division, so we have to keep pushing.
Plus, we head north of the border as the VGK make the push toward a Pacific Division crown.
Dorofeev with Howden on the rush, and Theodore joining. Theodore down the middle. Dorofeev cutting in front, backhand score! Pavel Dorofeev tucks it in for number 33 to give the Golden Knights the lead.
Plus, we pay tribute to the great ace, Alexander Ovechkin, as he becomes the NHL's all-time goal leader.
We have all just witnessed history.
All of that and more this week on Nightlife.
Welcome into an all-new episode of Nightlife where the Stanley Cup Playoffs are almost upon us. So, what better time to catch up with the head coach Bruce Cassidy to get a pulse on the team before the postseason. Well, Bruce, are you about ready for the best time of the year?
Yes, I am. It's Masters and it's playoff hockey.
What is this point like for a coach as the regular season is winding down and the playoffs is approaching?
Well, once you're in, there's a sense of, okay, well, that's, step one. We got together at training camp. We've been through 74 games to get here. There's a process there, right? And it's not automatic. I've said this, our expectation's much higher, but you can get derailed in a hurry if you're not careful. So I think we've put the work in. So that part is satisfying. Now this time of the year is fine-tuning your game and what's at stake next. And for us, it's first place in the division. So we have to keep pushing. We can't take our foot off the gas in terms of winning games. We can rest, like today we use practice as an optional, and there's travel days we won't practice, etc. But we still have to have the understanding winning's important. We're not in a position to say, okay, let's just play, not care about the result to build this part of our game. I think we have to understand that the W's are important to get where we want to go. It's not the be-all, end-all, because you're in, but you'd like to help yourself with your path.
How difficult is it to make that push to win a division title?
Well, I think it depends a little bit on your health during the year, what your makeup of your team is. Is it realistic? We went into the year, every year, I thought, even though we missed the playoffs, the Knights missed the playoffs, and I came in the next year, I still thought the team was probably good enough to be a first place team when you looked at it, what it had done for 5 years. So this year I thought we were, and I thought we were last year. Last year we ran into some injuries. Too many hiccups during the year. We've avoided some of those this year, and that's why we're in the position we're in. So yeah, I feel we could be a first place team. And as I said, there's just some merit in being there, some home ice, some less travel, a little bit of confidence too when you win your division, and that's just how I feel.
I would think that you always, want that home ice advantage, and that winning the division is always a goal that you would circle. But did last year's experience make that even more important to you this year?
Well, last year's experience was more the constant battle just to keep up with the teams in our league, and it felt like we were grinding just to end up where we were. I don't feel that this year. It feels like been like there's always some clunkiness to every year, but it's been smoother. I mean, we've been on a path, on a path. Injury takes a player out, but in comes the next one, and we're going to get them back. And there hasn't been the uncertainty till Hurdle went into the boards almost late in the year. Right? Other years, we had guys leave for a while and weren't sure, Mark Stone, what was going to happen with him. Jack, I think one year, Theo had an injury this year, but we kind of knew that the timeline of that. So that's helped us sort of plan, our process through those injuries, but know that, hey, it looks like we're going to be healthy. So hopefully that's the case with Thomas. We don't know that. A good step today, he's on the ice, but and a little bit of newness can excite people, right? Like Pav's story is awesome, right? He comes in, he's a young guy. We think he can get better, so he gets his opportunity because other guys leave, and it happened to a couple of guys. So I'll use Pav as an example because such a good year for him, and he's a homegrown player. Makes everybody happy when you draft and develop a player because everyone in the organization touches that player, it feels like, and it motivates you to keep doing your job well.
Since you brought up his name, how do you feel his game will translate to playoff hockey?
Well, he plays on the inside, and he's been able to handle it, the sticks and the bodies on him. So I think it'll translate well. It'll just be the newness of it, right? It's every night hard checking, typically, right? And you're going to get that during the regular season, but you're not getting it every night. That's the nature of 82 games, condensed schedule. It's just hard to be at your best in terms of defending every night. That's the change in the playoffs. And people always ask that, what happens? Well, teams check harder. It's harder to score because of that. But I think he'll be fine with that part of it. Is can he mentally push through the days that maybe it doesn't go in for him? We'll see.
So for you, it's 9 consecutive seasons making playoff appearances. Do you let yourself step back and think about that and how you got here?
I mean, I think about it. It's a nice accomplishment. It means I've been around good players, because you don't make the playoffs without good players. So I've been fortunate enough to be around good players, good staffs, organizations that value that. I mean, Boston has always valued that. They're going through a tough time this year, but I'm sure they'll get that squared away. Vegas has always valued it since day one, and so that means you're working for people that have higher expectations, and that's right up my alley.
Time for our first break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we head out on the road to relive the back-to-back Pacific Division battles.
Now Theodore with a wrist shot, tap, score! Riley Smith on the deflection.
Barbashev cruising, he scores! The crossover from Barbashev, set up by Mark Stone.
Keep it locked. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Nightlife, where even though the Golden Knights have clinched a playoff spot, there are still a lot of important games left as they look to lock things down before playoffs. So they hopped on a plane and headed north to Calgary for a matchup with the Flames.
Golden Knights, their Pacific Division lead is down to a single point. Sets up for one of the biggest games of the season in Calgary tonight. The youth movement in net for both of these teams is first start with Vegas for 24-year-old Akira Schmid and 23-year-old Dustin Wolf. Underway from the Saddle Dome. And now through center, William Karlsson with Victor Olofsson right off the bat. Out high, Olofsson a drive and a save. Wolf. Olofsson again with a rip. Or Olofsson for the third time. Theodore. Olofsson again. Save made by Wolf. Kadri down. Possible center. Theodore blocked round by Schmid. Dorofeev with Houghton on the rush. And Theodore joining. Theodore down the middle. Dorofeev cutting in front. Backhand score. Pavel Dorofeev tucks it in for number 33 to give the Golden Knights the lead. McNabb with room. His shot. Save Wolf. Rebound to Olofsson. Now Theodore with a wrist shot, tap, score! Riley Smith on the deflection, and the Golden Knights have built a 2-0 lead in Calgary. Post for Calgary. Hanlon looking, shot, score! Backlund wins it, Coronado rolls in the middle, shot, score! For the game-tying goal. Looking to break with Smith short-handed. Karlsson racing up ice. Karlsson and Smith, and Wolf makes the save. Backlund up ice. Save Schmid right before the final horn. Schmid with a huge save on Backlund. And a little bit of power play time to begin the OT. Shea Theodore picks his way up the ice. Riley Smith breaking in down the wing. And a put it between the legs in deep. And center it! Score! Riley Smith banked it in from below the goal line for the overtime game winner.
Well, some games you play so well you need a bounce. This would be one of the games for Vegas. This goes off of Weegar and into the net. The Calgary defenseman, Riley Smith, comes down the right side behind the net. He's looking out front. Off the skate of Weegar, off the shoulder of Wolf, and into the net. As the Golden Knights and Riley Smith, a bit of a break, a bounce goes their way, and they're able to pull this one out. Riley Smith, a pair of goals, including this one, the OT winner.
From high above ringside at Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Here's into the far boards, Canucks on it, shot, save, and a rebound. Goes wide left, Besser on the near boards. Besser dishes to the slot, another shot, save, rebound, they score!
Blue ice is not protected well at all by the Golden Knights.
Barbashev cruising, he scores! The crossover from Barbashev, set up by Mark Stone. Vegas ties it 1-1 on Ivan Barbashev's 21st of the season. Cutting from the left circle to the top of the crease. He held on to it so long, he had a good 3 feet of a window at the right post, and he tucks it home on the backhand to tie it up. Entry on the right, Pearson for Watt, fires, save, rebound, it goes in! Lankinen made the save, Kolasar was closing, and the puck deflected back into the goal.
Pearson drops it to Waugh. Waugh, the shot, it comes out and it hits Mancini in the back of the boot and goes in.
Knights take a 2-1 advantage to the intermission. In come the Canucks left side. Dakota Joshua broken up by Jack Eichel. Feed goes right though. Hronek shoots, save, rebound in front, it's loose, they score!
Oh boy, Aiden Hill gets bumped. Vegas is going to challenge this.
After coach's challenge review, we call him the ice stands.
Down to Brusk, down to the goal line, quick stick, oh, and a great stop by Hill! DeBrusk in front, the glove save by Aiden. Carlson, who hasn't scored a goal since December, sweeps in right, centered, a shot, they score! Carlson with the dish to Olofsson. Vegas on top 3-2. Olofsson, an assist last night. And now the go-ahead goal late in regulation, William Karlsson. The backhand centering pass, swooping through the trapezoid, warding off Quinn Hughes. Got it to Olofsson, who rockets it by Lankinen's glove at point-blank range. Clock runs out. Vegas wins 3-2. Victor Olofsson's 14th of the season proves to be the game winner. Aiden Hill records victory 30 in Game 48. And the Knights have 102 points atop the Pacific Division.
Time for a short break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, more of our conversation with the head coach as playoff hockey draws near.
There's days you look like, oh, there the house is built, we're good, you know, and the game is built, but it never is. There's always something going on. You're an imperfect team, even if you're the last team standing.
Don't go anywhere. Nightlife will be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife. We rejoin our conversation with head coach Bruce Cassidy as the chase for Lord Stanley is set to begin.
We always talk to you guys about building your game as you get closer to the playoffs. But I'm curious as a coach, is the game ever actually there unless you're hoisting the Stanley Cup after the 16th win of the playoffs?
Yeah, I think there's days you look like, oh, there the house is built, we're good, you know, and the game is built, but it never is. There's always something going on. Sometimes right up till the end, you know, even when you win. That's what I've learned over the years. You're an imperfect team, even if you're the last team standing. Right? There's just no, like, everything's smooth sailing. Now, I will say this year we won, we progressively got better. It felt like as we were playing Florida, like, there's almost this internal confidence, like, we can't lose. The guys are just so dialed in. We're playing well. Every, you know, facets of the game are strong. Now, maybe Florida thought the same thing, right? But that's just the when you start to realize, hey, this is as close as it's ever going to be. And I think playoffs does that for you. You start realizing that, hey, we're as good as anybody, if not better. And you don't know that till you get in, right? Like, I feel good about our team right now. I think we're playing good hockey, but, you know, like, we don't know until you get up against the best.
Speaking of this year's team, you said recently that you'll use this time to work through any chemistry issues that might still be there. Where do you feel that's at with this lineup?
Well, we've reverted back to closer to the lines that we projected we're going to use, right? Now that we're in, and that's moving Barbie back with Jack. You know, we had that conversation. You know, Thomas's injury, Nick moves up, but we like Sad and Pav together. Then you add Smitty at the deadline. We know he's got a relationship with Carly. They play well together, so who's the fit? And then that leaves Howie in the middle with Kolasar. But if Nick drops down, where does Howie go? So there's a couple of moving pieces here, or parts. But I think that's okay because there's not newness to Howie playing left wing versus center. He's done both for almost 3 years here now and maybe beyond that. So it won't come as a surprise to him. So we're a lot closer, I think, from where we were, say, 2-3 months ago. And that's fine. That's the way it should be. You're supposed to experiment probably that part of the, I've always felt, in the middle of the year, not at the end, because Now you're trying to lock things in, and we're close to that, I think.
You've said a few times this year that this group reminds you of the group from 2023. Is that still the case, as we're almost done with the regular season?
It is. I see some similarities. We've got, I don't know how exactly to describe it. I just see some similarities to that team and the way the season's played out. I think last year maybe there was a bit of the weight of being a defending champion that we carried with us a lot during the year, and then we weren't able to automatically replicate the success. So, you know, when you win, listen, I don't have a lot of experience in this, but I think we sort of expected we'd come right back from, hey, we beat Florida, we're right onto it, and we kind of did. I think we won our first 10 games, and then it starts to go, that adrenaline rush is gone. Now you got to play and get back to the details. We had a harder time getting to those details on a regular basis. I think we were just all wanting to sort of, let's get to the playoffs. Then it doesn't go your way, and I think guys realize, okay, it's not automatic. And that's a credit to them, their maturity, that we've got to take care of the details. We've got good enough players. We marry the two, you know, we have a pretty good chance. And that's how I feel the room is. I think when you talk to them honestly, they respect it, and I think they get it. They get it that's the process, because we just lived it 2 years ago. So that's why I see similarities.
You may have kind of just answered this right there, but what gives you the most confidence in this group?
Well, there's a lot of guys that have won in the room, so that's one. They've been there. That doesn't mean you're going to do it again, because every team would repeat, right? But at least you have an idea what it takes, the ups and downs, the imperfectness at times, the ability to turn the page. And I think this group is good with that. We've turned the page on some performances we didn't love and addressed them and gotten back to work. So I feel like they know that. They know what we're supposed to look like when we're at our best. And I think that's, for a coach, when you can sort of get that idea and then execute it on the ice. And you know, that's when you know that, hey, the players have bought in. And we'll see whether it's good enough, because there's going to be 15 other teams that are probably feeling that way. And so that's the challenge every year.
Bruce, happy almost Masters Week. Happy almost playoffs, and thanks for taking the time to do this such a busy time of year.
All right, thank you.
Time for our last break here on Nightlife. Coming up next, we pay tribute to the Great Eight after passing the Great One to become the all-time goals leader in NHL history.
Cross ice, Ovechkin fires! Score! He scores! The chasing days are done! Ovechkin scores '895!
Come on back with us. Nightlife on Scripps Sports. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nightlife.
Wayne was the epitome of what it is to be a National Hockey League star.
Ovi's probably the best goal scorer of all time.
Hard not to really look at Wayne as the purest goal scorers of all time.
It's just the perfect package, and us goalies are still trying to figure it out.
At the pace that he scored for how long he's done it, it's just incredible.
He can shoot it from anywhere, passes in his feet and in front, behind.
Ovechkin trying to drag it through Merritt.
Wayne Gretzky's the coach in Arizona, and you look over after this goal, and Wayne Gretzky's looking at the Jumbotron, and you see this look on his face like, wow.
Wayne was a crossover personality. He was someone that non-hockey fans knew about.
The stress and the pressure of it is tougher than people think. What he's done is incredible. What he's done is remarkable. What he's done is great for the game.
Here's a pass, Ovechkin scores! The Great Eight stand side by side with the Great One.
We end this week's episode by paying tribute to the new all-time goal leader in NHL history. Alexander Ovechkin has summited the peak after scoring goal number 895 against the New York Islanders this past weekend. Ovi scored the record-setting goal on the 21st anniversary of the Capitals winning the 2004 draft lottery, earning them the rights to draft him. Perhaps one of the final puzzle pieces to the amazing career of the Great Eight.
The chasing days are done! Alex Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer in the history of the NHL.
As soon as Ovechkin was drafted, hockey fans in Washington were like, this is our guy.
Ovechkin fires, he scores!
What a first goal for Alexander!
Scores!
record could be touched.
The rookie year was dazzling. So much flash and dash.
He loved the game. He stepped on the ice to entertain people.
Alex Ovechkin! And look at that big smile. That's an Ovi goal smile.
Timer and a goal! Ovechkin from that familiar spot.
And so often it's the quick release of Ovechkin. Ovechkin, pinpoint to the top shelf.
Hit, what a move! Ovechkin's in! His chance!
Just wheeling and dealing, inside, outside.
In comes Ovechkin! In front,
to the back end, he scores! Simply sensational!
That is goal number 100.
It's 200 goals!
300 of his career.
400!
Or 500!
Or 600!
700 red lights!
The 800th goal!
A breathtaking number to pass Gordie Howe. And one great hill left to climb.
Alexander Ovechkin chasing down Wayne Gretzky.
Rocket! He can see the mountaintop from here!
94! He has tied Wayne Gretzky!
The chasing days are done! Alex Ovechkin is second to none. There's no one left to chase.
Hey, this is Jack Eichel from the Vegas Golden Knights. Just wanted to say congratulations to Alex Ovechkin on breaking the all-time goals record. An incredible accomplishment that, in record, I don't think anyone ever imagined would be broken, but you've done it, and rightfully so. You deserve to sit on top of the mountain. It's been an honor to play against you the last 10 years. I grew up idolizing you, so congratulations again, and enjoy it.
Well, that does it for this episode of Nightlife. Be sure to tune in next week for our last episode of the regular season, as the playoffs are just a couple weeks away. We'll see you next time, right here on Script Sports.